How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and once again we are here defending the moon, a task that, well, I thought that one day, as a child, being commander-in-chief of the moon, defending it from attackers, would be a pretty cool aspiration, but unfortunately that is not the case. Now, where we had left off, I believe we had more or less taken care of everything we could do in the last turn. So what I'm going to do now is let's pass the turn, and we're going to see how this goes. We do have invaders at our borders, so as a recap, actually, before I pass the turn, let's talk about where things are going from here with Warlock. So we do have some invaders right here coming in from our eastward block. I almost said our east worm block. What the hell is a worm block? I don't even know where my brain was going. It's just mismatching words at this point. Not even sure what to say. Brain, what are you doing? Take off your douchebag hat and let's get into gear. It's episode time. Now, we have here this group that is ready for a quest turn in. We need to kill these blade masters, but they are pretty tough and nasty. We also have another group of invaders up here. We have some minotaurs taking root in this region, just kind of spreading like crazy. Hopefully, our good friend Nicholas will come in and save us from what seems to be a rather bovine, nasty fate. So, let's see, anything going on over here? Oh yes, we were waging war against several nasty little groupings of monsters over here as well. So we're going to have to handle this. We've got kind of a mini skirmish going on in this region, which was somewhat unexpected. I don't really think they'll prevail in the overall scheme of things, but we may actually take some damage over here. So without further ado, let's pass this turn and see where things go. And so Rjakh's going to take his turn right now. I'm assuming, yeah, there it is right there. Taking a little bit of fire up in this region. Took some bombardment here at Mount Worthless. And it looks like King Lich is going to invade. He's actually got an army of wolves. How badass would that be? I would sell a left appendage or I would sell a left member of my anatomy for a wolf army. Could you imagine? Like somebody try and mess with you in the subway and you'd be like, wolf army, let's do this. It would be the coolest thing ever. Just summoning a wolf army, the look on the person's face, the look on his or her face as you summoned a wolf army to defend your meagerly stocked wallet from mugging would just be worth the cost altogether by itself. But it looks like, oh, Nicholas, he's swooping in. He's going to be our hero here. He's going to Rob Thomas it up for us and just take care of business. So it looks like he actually cleared out this northern border for us rather nicely. That's a good thing. And let's see how the skirmish goes in the south here. So the ogre appears to be focusing on this grouping of wolves. Unfortunately, there was no retaliating fire on that group of imps and they've driven my wolves to the sea. Apparently, my wolves have gained the ability. Yeah, I was worried about that right there. God, he just one-shotted that entire group of skeletons. What a nasty little group of rotten bastards. I wish that I could convert them to my cause, but we'll save that for later. Now, apparently my wolves took such an ass-whooping that it inspired them to grow thumbs and learn to sail. So they have taken to the high seas. They're now pirate wolves. Which, how could it get any better? Let's go over here, and let's see what our flying galleass does. Oh, he's got ghostly cannons. That is the coolest thing that I have ever seen in my life. Or at least it is very close. I say that all the time, but this time I think that I have spoken truthfully. Our ogre friend here, his name is Elder Ogre. I guess his parents weren't that unique when they decided to name him, but Elder Ogre. Or maybe he's an elder in his church and his name is actually Ogre. He is aptly named. He's an ogre named Ogre, perhaps. But let's take a look and see what we can do here with these dwarves. So let's swing into action, and we're going to take a swing there. That's good. They landed a critical hit and got some damage off. I don't know if it's better to take the imps out or if it's better to take the ogre out. Let's take the demons out, and he's going to level up from that experience. And so that all taken care of on this front. Did our other Caravellas get done? I know for a fact. Yes, it did. Amazing. So we needed to level up our Caravellas's anyways, or our Caravelli. I don't even know it. Oh, Galleass. So never mind. They're not Caravellas's. They're Galleass's. Our Gallii. That sounds amazing. That sounds like some kind of cool Roman unit from Total War. Anyways, so that's all taken care of on this front. So let's go ahead and take a look to the future. And what we'll do is we'll handle our construction first. So it looks like in Mount Worthless, we've got a little bit of construction left to do. I'm going to go with the gold mine because that is the last kind of bonus research, or the last bonus resource that we can exploit at the moment. So there it goes. Additionally, I think I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the possibility of other constructions down here in Splattertopia. We've got the opportunity to make an excavation or to do something else. At the moment, I like where our gold is at. I like how we're piling up the riches and the resources, so I don't think I'm going to amplify my excavations just yet. I think instead, what I'm going to lean towards is maybe, what are we producing here? So in Splattertopia, we've got 8.4 food. We don't have really any magical production going on. Gold production, not so good in Splattertopia either. We're actually losing money there, so I think, God, I don't really know what else there is to do aside from that, so this may be one of those moments where let's balance out his deficit, I guess. We're going to balance out his deficit by placing a craftsman's district, because right now it's losing 1 gold right here, and I'd like to get that evened out before I take the excavations, because that's going to incur a major penalty there. And I do want my cities to be self-sufficient and handling their own business. I think on a separate grouping, let's take a look at the catapult. I kind of want to get 1 or 2 of these ready to go. They have a pretty high upkeep cost and they're pretty easily destroyed, so I don't really know if I want to keep going with the galleasses, although we've more or less tapped out our mana. We do want to wipe out Rjakh fairly soon though, so I can't guarantee we can get anything whipped together in that time frame, or at least get the war amplified to that extent. I'm going to take a shot at these Blade Masters. That's a little more damage, and every little bit is going to help. We've got this group of junk warriors here who have much higher defense than what is expected. I think we'll move these guys into place as well. We'll also surround with these veterans, so let's take a swing at them with the veterans first, and then what we'll do is we'll take a shot at them with Silverbane, and that's nice. And that leaves them with how much health? 16 health. I'd like them to be out of my face by the end of this round, but we don't have the mana for it. So I'm going to resist the urge to expend mana to get that done. And we're going to drive them back a tad, if we can at all do so. And there... No! No, do not flee! Stand your ground! You're supposed to be badass barbarians. What kind of badass barbarians run away? Damn it. And so this gives our opponent the opportunity to snipe that kill from us, so I may actually be forced. Let's give him a lesser fireball here. And hopefully there we go. So there's the business taken care of. We're going to get ourselves a little bit of relationship with Grumgog, who sounds like a god that enjoys himself both grog and rum of varying sorts. But then we're also going to get the Pestilence Swamp, so maybe he's more like Nurgle. And it says here that this is an area effect, and it allows us to turn landscape into swamps, and that's actually pretty decent because those are pretty worthless tiles to have on hand. We're also going to get a nice little grip of gold for pleasing that god, so he's not below, giving us some kind of pecuniary advantage for that. I'm going to take a shot down here at these wolves with this grouping of soldiers. We don't have a lot of warriors. Actually, yeah, we do. We have wolves. We got all kinds of stuff going on. What am I talking about? So we're actually going to inflict less damage there because he's hiding in the hills. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Yikes. So I think I may just hold the line right here because I really don't want to bash against their lines unnecessarily. And over here we have the opportunity to do another little construction project in Cold Shore. And I think in Cold Shore, I don't really know what I want to produce, but I think I'm going to stick with my ultimate goal of balancing out my mana supply, because we are just not these spell-flinging badasses. We are not the Dumbledore of this entire thing. We are not the Gandalf. Well, Gandalf only used that glowy staff thing, so I don't know if he counts as a spell-flinger. We're not the Raistland slash whoever you want it, whatever wizardly name you would like to invoke as a battle mage. I forget the guy that... There was a guy that trained Raistland who was actually like classified as a battle mage in one of the earlier Weiss books back in the day. This is Dragonlance, by the way. I am kind of doing a little bit of literary referencing here. That's right, guys. I know my fine literature. I may not know my Kant, but I definitely know my Weiss and Hickman. So, who can they fire at? Who do they have? Oh, we have another grouping of wolves over here. And so we have two potential groups that can actually lay fire on this grouping of feral foes rapidly trespassing on our territory. This group right here needs to continue resting, and it looks like we've got one more shot left to make, which I think is going to go straight to that ogre. And that's going to give him a critical hit. That's actually a pretty monumental thing that just happened right there, so that's good. Monumental. He got shot by a monument, and it was also monumental, but that was not a pun that I intended, so I'm just going to sweep it under the rug and pretend like it never happened. With this group of veterans, what I'd like to do is get them ready for combat by giving them a level up, which is going to have a defense boost because I'd like to get them more or less impervious to any type of damage. We have a second level up. Wait a minute, have we almost gone all the way around the globe? I saw what it did right there. Oh, so this actually is going to go and connect through there. We don't have the opportunity to attack this ogre, but we do have a level up. And so I think what I'll go to is possibly a bonus on rugged terrain, I guess. We're kind of running out of upgrades for him. He's at level 7, which is pretty amazing. But at the moment, we don't have a whole lot left to buff him with. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to let that lie. Let's pan through, and we've got a pretty substantial army going on at the moment. And I think it's in this army's best interest to start heading out here. We do want to get some nice shots off on Dreadspell, I should think. We're also going to allow that hero to get a little bit of rest, because having another hero is going to act in our benefit. We're going to rest that unit, and take this unit and meet them up to here. They run the risk of getting AoE'd, but I'm willing to sacrifice their lives to that extent, so whatever, it's fine. So let's take this unit right here, and we're going to place them there, and they're actually going to take cheap shots at that group of ghost wolves. I can virtually guarantee you these wolves are going to come around and attack them on the next turn, but there's not a whole lot you can do about that. We don't have a lot of flanking defense for that grouping of units. Here in Chickenville, we're going to leave that unit there for now. I think they're going to hold their ground just briefly. And I think I already told you guys to hang tight, so I don't know why I had to do that a second time. They got to get their orders the first time. We got to work on that with them. We have this group of settlers here that I am interested in blasting. I think they're actually probably going to head to the left over here. That's also going to give us the benefit of a bit more XP for that group of rangers. Until things hit like level 3, they're not that useful. But once they hit that magic level 3, they tend to be a lot better. So let me give them a defensive bonus right there. And then this group is the last one we have to command. I think I'm just going to bring them back down and make sure that no other funny business goes on over here. We've got a change in diplomatic situation. Rjakh and Nicholas Frost have made peace, so that's going to negatively affect our northern border. It's going to make it so that we have a little bit less of a buffer. Let's end our turn and we'll see what happens here. It's a little bit of bombardment going on. It's going to be all for naught though, because those are undead units. They don't take damage like you would expect. That wolf's going to retreat. Oh, and he actually made the stupid move of throwing himself into our lines. His best move right there was to hit those archers, or at least retreat. We've got a Minotaur attack going on down here. And it looks like Nicholas Frost is still going to help us with King Lich on this border, so that's fine. That actually works out in our favor. I like that resolution. Just fine. Just fine. And yeah, there we go. That's what I like to see. Nicholas Frost taking a little bit of territory back from our newly aspiring, I guess, our newly aspiring foe, our newly aspiring antagonist. And it looks like monsters are getting their turns now, and they're going to take a swing at Dreadspell, it actually looks like, so that's good. That's going to give us a little bit of covering fire there, although we can't see what's oh no. And so we've got a sea monster along our borders. And did that sea monster kill my wolves? Did he indeed? I think he did, because we just got a bunch of mana back. So let's take a shot at that Kraken, because these Krakens are really kind of making a nuisance of themselves. So we will bombard them with all kinds of aerial battery. Fly like the wind, indeed. Ungaro I, as Elrond is so fond of saying at the beginning of Lord of the Rings. And let's keep the pressure on this ogre. I would hate to see him escape. Let's whistle merrily over here and make sure that we get him. The other option that we have in play is to come over here and hold down the fort by destroying some of these bears. And I think that's going to be my next task, is kind of colonizing this region. If we can get this all to connect and make a big belt across this region, we're going to be in such an amazing state of affairs that, I mean, the majority of the map is already purple, so we're in a pretty good spot. He is ready to pillage. That is I prefer that my combatants be in that state, ready to pillage at any given time, just saddling up into Viking mode. They've got a little bit more attack left as well, so we'll have them lay some fire down on that Kraken. Basically, I'm trying to maximize the amount of XP we can gather on all these units. I think I'll give him missile resistance. We have some construction ready to go over here in Thalis, and we've got a clerics guild, so I like clerics. I play clerics in D&D. Whenever I get around to playing a tabletop game, I favor the clerics. Definitely in Forgotten Realms, I am a cleric of Lothander. It's one of my favorite gods. And if I can't take him, I take Torm or Helm. But let's see what's going on over here. We got a grouping of Sisters of Kryta. Where are they? Oh, they're within my borders. Absolutely. So let's handle them. So we've got the opportunity to bombard them from a number of sources. Luckily, if I remember correctly, this mob is not so good against missile fire, but they're like completely immune to everything else. So I think we'll be able to run them out rather quickly. Yep, and there it is. We got Blessing of Life, which is going to increase the population growth in a target city. We got Agrella's Grace. We slew the infidels. I like that. We got 230 gold as well, so we are now officially into the thousands on our gold. So we've got another offer. Rjakh is still just trying to push the peace table at us, and I really wish that I could renegotiate. I would love to just totally take him for everything he's worth. Namely, I'd like to get a couple thousand mana out of him if I really could. I mean, I doubt the game would give up that much, but I would love to get 500, 600 mana out of him if that was at all possible. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to be the case. I don't really know if I should accept this peace right now and gather my forces. Yeah, let's accept the peace for now. We're going to accept the peace for now, but it's going to be a bit of a Cold War situation from here on out. We're going to keep our eye on them. Let's get rid of that grouping of wolves. We're going to soften them up to the extent that we can. And this group of wolves is at level 5. These rangers are at level 3, so I think they need the XP a little bit more. And is that a kill? That's a kill. 1 shot, 1 kill, or a grouping of 1 shots. Does it still count as 1 shot, 1 kill if you have 30 guys all taking 1 shot? 30 shots, 30 kills? I'll take that as well. And then we'll sweep in like so. Oh, and that is not the result that I intended for. Come on now. Just die, wolves. Just die. And so they're now down, but we are within the range of that greater fire elemental. Hopefully the fire elemental is taking part in the task of just smashing Blackcliff, because if not, we may end up in a precarious situation there. I'm going to resist the urge to take a shot at that with my town. I want these skeletons to get the XP for killing that wolf group, and so down it goes. We're going to give these skeletons a bit of a break. We're going to pan through, get some level ups going, and let's get... yeah, let's give them City Fighter. Let's give them... these actual skeletons are getting to the point where they're becoming useful to me, so we'll give them Furious Charge, as always. Follow that same kind of holotype, or that same kind of archetype that we've been carrying along the entire game for our soldiers. The rest of these can be placed on tentative defense. We're going to push them back to Silverbane. Veterans are standing by in sentry mode. Rangers, on the other hand, can kind of hang tight here along the borders. I want to get everybody positioned to where they're ready to just hit Dreadspell with everything we have the moment this piece ends. And it will. Believe you me, this piece is going to end. And when it does, it's going to be just party time for our troops. There will be drinking and merriment and celebration as we dance through the streets of Dreadspell. And I should have arrested that unit, unfortunately. I did something very, very obtuse and stupid in that situation. So let's get everybody there, and we're going to end the turn, I think. It looks like Nicholas Frost took Gorgonwood. Yeah, we already knew about that. We knew about that. A little too late. We saw that one first-hand account. Let's do one more turn, and then we'll call this one to a break. So that leaves Rjakh free to cross our territory, which I feel like I never agreed to. Now, there is something to be said about the fact, oh, you little bastard, collusion. The most promiscuous type of collusion. I tell you what. Can't trust these mobs for nothing. And what happened there? Wait, is that... did they rebel? What occurred right here? I thought I had rangers in this spot. I mean, they're going to get bombarded into a pulp. And then what we'll do is we'll sweep them out with this unit, give them a little bit more XP. I guess it's a free road. Huh, I don't know. We've researched Firestorm at this point, and our mana is pretty hot. Did it kill that group of wolves too? God, we are just losing our force multipliers like crazy. Oh, it didn't kill our wolves, but we are going to pull them back. Let's get everybody back to safe territory. We have the opportunity to take a shot here on even more groupings of wolves. This is a safe move right here to sally out. Oh, never mind, I can't make it. That's probably why he positioned them right there. So I guess we'll leave that as is. We have the opportunity to take a new spell research. And so let's take a look and go with Elemental Regeneration each turn. I like that enchantment, Locust Swarm. That's not so useful anymore. We could kind of diversify our attack repertoire and kind of, I guess, divert the I'm just going to go with the healing spell. I mean, at this point, I don't have any real strategy for what I'm selecting. I'm just kind of picking things out of a hat. We have the opportunity here in Boo to handle more business, so let's have a look-see. We don't have any shipyards here yet, but I don't think we really need one. I think, all in all, I should probably just keep pumping out the nice little food production spots because they do have a nice little spread, a nice little grid going, and Boo's actually at level 10. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty rare that you get cities this high level. We're going to give them the elemental resistance buff. We got another level up over here. I'm actually going to take their level up real fast. And is there like an ogre cave over here? What is the reason by which all these ogres are spawning along my periphery? This is a little, I mean, we've had a rather ogre-y day. It's been a little more prickly than I'd like. So I suppose we'll send heroes down to here. We'll send this ogre over to here and have him take a swipe at some bears. I wasn't planning on clearing this out just yet, but I think we'll just do it. We're just going to jump on it. Our Gallius is going to need XP before we go in for another swipe at Dreadspell. I'd also like to, let's migrate this hero over here and see if we can mooch some experience for him as well. This Gallius has the opportunity to level, and I actually really do think that the plus 30 missile damage is probably the best there. That's going to raise his attack damage to 16, which honestly is pretty stellar. And I think, more or less, this leaves me with the rest of the turn to just place my units and make sure that they're all in the place that I want them to be. So my name is Splattercat. Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. As I say adieu here, thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll decide to join me next time as we see what strange occurrences take place and what we have to deal with in the next episode of our Warlock Master of the Arcane Let's Play. I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.